Could the way you cook your morning eggs be silently hurting your heart, memory, and digestion? Most seniors think eggs are a healthy habit, but what if I told you that one small mistake with this familiar food could be slowly damaging your body without you even knowing? In today's video, I'll reveal 5 dangerous mistakes seniors often make when eating eggs, and how to reverse the damage starting today with just a few simple changes. These tips are easy, natural, and based on real patient stories and over 60 years of medical insight. Don't ignore this. The way you eat your eggs could either add 10 healthy years to your life or silently take them away. Before we begin, I'd love to know where and what time are you watching this from. Comment below and type the word HOPE if you believe in living healthier, longer, and naturally. If you find this helpful, hit subscribe so you never miss another simple, powerful health tip. Now let's dive into the first egg mistake that most people don't even realize they're making. Let me tell you a story that might sound familiar, especially if you've had eggs for breakfast most of your life. Mr. John was 83 years old, lived a quiet life just outside of Chicago. Every morning, rain or shine, for over 40 years, he'd soft-boil 2 eggs, sprinkle a bit of salt, sit by the kitchen window, and enjoy his little ritual. He believed eggs were the secret to staying strong, and honestly, for decades they probably were. But one morning something changed. He didn't feel quite right. His stomach twisted. He felt dizzy and weak. His daughter found him a few hours later, slumped in his chair, barely able to speak. At the hospital, they told him he had a severe case of salmonella poisoning. The doctors asked what he had eaten. Just the usual soft-boiled eggs, he said. Turns out one of the eggs he'd eaten had expired, and his aging immune system, no longer as sharp as it once was, just couldn't fight off the infection. This isn't a rare story, my friend. As we get older, our bodies change quietly, gradually. Foods that once felt harmless can suddenly turn into risks. According to the Centers for Disease Control, adults over 65 are more likely to experience severe illness or death from salmonella than any other age group. And sadly, many don't realize that raw or undercooked eggs are one of the leading causes. You see, when we're young, our gut can handle a lot more. But with age, digestion slows, immunity drops, and something as small as a soft yolk can overwhelm the system. Raw eggs also carry another risk. They contain a protein that blocks absorption of biotin, a vitamin crucial for memory, mood, and nerve health. Without enough of it, you might feel fatigued, experience tingling in your fingers, or notice your hair thinning more than usual. But here's the good news. You don't have to stop eating eggs. You just need to cook them right. Boil them thoroughly, about 9 to 12 minutes, until the yolk is firm. Make sure the eggs you buy are fresh, the shells aren't cracked, and they're stored in the fridge at or below 40 degrees, as the USDA recommends. If you're unsure about an egg's freshness, place it in a glass of water. If it floats, toss it out. And here's a gentle reminder: if you're taking antibiotics or your immune system is already compromised, like after an illness or surgery, be even more careful. Your body's defenses need all the support they can get. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever had soft or runny eggs in the morning, thinking they were harmless? Go ahead and share your thoughts in the comments. Just type the word HOPE if you believe it's never too late to eat smarter. So many of us carry lifelong habits and we never stop to question them. But when we do, even just once, we open the door to feeling better, living longer, and staying independent. Next, let's talk about something even more common than raw eggs. Eating eggs on an empty stomach, why it's quietly draining your energy. Now let's talk about the first mistake, and it's one I see more often than you'd expect. A lot of older adults think eating just the egg whites is the healthier option. To avoid cholesterol and cut calories. Some even skip breakfast altogether, then have 2 or 3 egg whites mid-morning to keep it light. But here's the thing, most folks don't realize eating only egg whites, especially on an empty stomach, can quietly drain your energy and your memory. I remember a woman named Ruth, 76 years old, who came to see me last fall. Lovely lady from Indiana. She told me she'd been feeling off for months, low energy, numbness in her fingers, even forgetting little things like where she left her glasses. I eat clean, she said proudly, mostly egg whites in the morning. But when we looked deeper, the cause wasn't some complex disease. It was biotin deficiency. See, egg whites contain a protein called avidin. When you eat them alone, especially without the yolk that avidin binds to biotin, a vitamin your body needs for nerve health, brain function, and even skin repair. Without enough biotin, your nervous system begins to stumble. You feel tired for no reason. Your hands and feet may tingle. Your thinking feels a little cloudy, like there's a fog over your day. And the older we get, the more our bodies struggle to bounce back from these small shortages. According to the National Institutes of Health, seniors are already at higher risk of B vitamin deficiencies, especially if they eat a limited diet or take certain medications. So skipping the yolk isn't helping, it's making things worse. Now here's the better news. The yolk, that golden part many people toss away, is where the real nourishment lives. It's full of biotin, choline for your brain, lutein, and zeaxanthin for your eyes, and healthy fats that help your body absorb nutrients. So instead of tossing the yolk, keep it and eat your eggs with a little something else. A slice of whole grain toast, a handful of steamed spinach, even a few pieces of avocado. These help slow digestion, balance blood sugar, and let your body use the nutrients more efficiently. And most importantly, don't eat eggs on an empty stomach. Let your body warm up with a small meal first. Your digestion, your nerves, and your brain will thank you for it. Have you ever skipped the yolk thinking it was the right thing? Let me know in the comments by typing HOPE, because sometimes a simple change is all it takes to feel more alive again. Even after 70 small choices like these add up. You don't need big changes, you need smart ones. Next, let's look at mistake number 2, and why eating runny eggs might quietly be putting your immune system at risk. The second mistake is one many folks don't even question: eating soft-boiled or raw eggs. Now, I know for some of you, this might be a long-held habit. Maybe you enjoy dipping toast in a runny yolk. Or maybe, like Mr. Mark from Wisconsin, you've added a raw egg to your morning smoothie for extra protein. That's what he did every day for over 20 years. But what Mark didn't know was that his body at age 82 wasn't processing those eggs like it used to. He ended up in the ICU with a severe salmonella infection. Weak, dehydrated, confused. His family was terrified, all because of what seemed like a harmless breakfast. And sadly, this kind of case isn't rare. According to the CDC, adults over 65 are much more likely to get seriously ill or even die from foodborne illnesses like salmonella. Our immune systems just aren't what they were in our 40s or 50s. The defense walls are thinner now, and raw or undercooked eggs slip through those cracks easily. But it's not just the infection risk. Raw eggs also mess with the good bacteria in your gut, what doctors call the microbiome. And for seniors, that balance is critical. Your gut health is tied to immunity, memory, and mood. When the gut is disrupted, it doesn't just cause stomach problems, it can affect your whole body. Some studies even link gut imbalance to early signs of dementia or depression. So what's the fix? It's simple and gentle. Cook your eggs fully. Whether you boil them, scramble them, or bake them into a frittata, make sure the yolk is no longer runny. The USDA recommends cooking eggs to at least 165 degrees Celsius, and boiling for 9 to 12 minutes ensures the center is safe. That might feel like a small detail, but for older bodies, that small step could save you from a hospital trip. And please check the freshness of your eggs before using them. If an egg floats in water, toss it. Keep them refrigerated and avoid eating any with cracked shells. Food poisoning might just mean an upset stomach for a teenager, but for us, it could mean a week in the hospital or a long road to recovery. Now, I want to ask you something. Have you ever had raw or soft-boiled eggs thinking they were better for your health? If so, type the word HOPE in the comments to let me know you're open to safer, healthier habits moving forward. Because here's the truth, it's never too late to shift course. Small changes like this can protect your body, your brain, and your independence. And speaking of small changes, let's talk next about something most folks don't think twice about: eating eggs right after taking their medication. That one might surprise you. Mistake number 3 might surprise you. It's about mixing eggs with medication. Now, I know that might sound odd at first. Eggs, medication. What's the connection? Well, let me tell you about Harold, a kind gentleman I met in Ohio, 85 years old. He took pride in his routine. Every morning at 7:00 sharp, he'd sit at the table, take his blood thinner, and enjoy his 2 scrambled eggs with toast. "It's how I start the day," he said with a smile. But over time, things started going wrong. He bruised more easily, his blood work looked off, and then one day he ended up in the ER with a minor stroke. That's when the doctor found out his warfare and the blood thinner wasn't working like it should. The eggs were the hidden reason. You see, egg yolks are rich in vitamin K, which affects how blood thinners like warfarin work. If you suddenly increase or decrease how many eggs you eat, it can throw off the balance. That means your medication might work too much or not enough. And when it comes to your heart and brain, even a small imbalance can be dangerous. But that's not all. Eggs can also interfere with other medicines you might be taking. Some antibiotics don't mix well with the calcium and magnesium in eggs. And if you're taking iron supplements, the protein in egg whites can stop your body from absorbing them properly. Dorothy, a sweet woman from Florida, had been dealing with fatigue and pale skin for months. She was faithfully taking her iron pills right after breakfast with a couple of eggs, but her iron levels stayed low. Once she spaced out her pills and meals, her energy slowly came back. And that's the key here. It's not about giving up eggs, it's about timing them right. A simple rule of thumb: leave at least 2 hours between eating eggs and taking your medicine. And for certain meds like statins or thyroid pills like levothyroxine, waiting up to 4 hours may be safer. If you're ever unsure, talk with your doctor or pharmacist. They'd much rather help you adjust timing than see you struggle with side effects later. It's such a small detail, a matter of when, not what, but it makes all the difference, especially for those of us who take multiple pills a day and are trying to do the right thing for our health. So let me ask, have you ever taken your meds right along with breakfast, maybe even with eggs? If so, type the word HOPE in the comments, because learning something new means you care about protecting your future. Just remember, your body is still listening, even now. And every small step you take, even something as quiet as waiting 2 hours, helps you live stronger, longer, and with more freedom. Now let's keep going. The 4th habit might seem innocent, but it's hiding in the time you eat your eggs and how that affects your cholesterol without you knowing. The 4th mistake has nothing to do with what's on your plate, but when you eat it. Most folks I know love a hot breakfast. Scrambled eggs, maybe a little toast and a cup of coffee right around 6 or 7 in the morning. It feels comforting, familiar, and for decades that habit probably served you just fine. But here's something you might not know. Eating eggs too early in the morning can quietly raise your cholesterol even if you're eating clean. Let me tell you about Mr. Ronald, a retired teacher I met from Michigan. He was 78 and said, "Doc, I eat right, I walk every day, but my cholesterol just won't budge." We went over his routine. Every morning at 6:15, without fail, he'd fry 2 eggs, eat them with a slice of whole wheat bread, then take a walk. Sounded healthy at first, but then we looked deeper. From 6 to 8 a.m., your body naturally produces a hormone called cortisol. It's part of your body's wake-up system. And while cortisol is necessary, it also stimulates cholesterol production in your liver. When you eat eggs, especially yolks, right, in that high cortisol window, your body ramps up cholesterol making even more. So even though Mr. Ronald wasn't eating junk food, his morning egg habit was adding to the problem. His liver was doing double duty, not just digesting fat, but making more of it. And to make matters worse, digestion is still waking up that early in the day. Protein-heavy foods like eggs can feel heavy, slow to break down, and may leave you feeling bloated, especially as you age. Once Ronald shifted his egg routine to later in the day between 2 and 4 p.m., things changed. We paired it with a side of steamed broccoli and a few onion slices. Within 3 months, his numbers improved. And maybe even more importantly, he said, "I feel lighter after breakfast now, not sluggish." So here's the gentle takeaway. You don't have to give up eggs. You just have to give them a better time slot. Your body will absorb the nutrients more efficiently. Your digestion will handle it better, and your heart will thank you. Want to make it even better? Add some green to your plate, spinach, broccoli, or even a little sautéed onion. The fiber helps sweep excess cholesterol out of your system and makes that afternoon egg snack work smarter, not harder. Let me ask you something. Do you usually eat your eggs before 8 a.m.? If so, type hope in the comments if you're open to trying a new rhythm for your meals. Because sometimes it's not about eating less. It's about eating smarter with your body's natural rhythm in mind. Now up next, there's one more habit that's worth rethinking, especially if you love your eggs fried in a hot pan. Let's talk about what happens when the oil gets too hot and what it does to your stomach, brain, and more. The fifth mistake is one many folks don't even realize they're making. It's about how you cook your eggs. Now I know how comforting it feels to toss a bit of butter in the pan, hear that sizzle and smell the rich aroma of eggs frying. It reminds us of Sunday mornings of family brunches of home. But what most people don't know is that when oil gets too hot, and I mean above 240, something quietly changes inside the egg. Let me tell you about Mrs. Jane, 84, from South Carolina. She told me she'd been losing her appetite, feeling some stomach pain, and lately forgetting little things more often. She thought it was just aging, but when we looked closer, a surprising detail stood out. She fried her eggs every morning on high heat for decades. The problem is that high heat breaks down choline, a nutrient tucked inside the yolk. And choline is essential, not just helpful for brain health, memory, and mood balance. Without it, our brain cells struggle to communicate. The damage builds up slowly, like rust under the surface. And that's not all. When cooking oil starts to smoke, it produces something called aldehydes, toxic compounds that irritate the stomach lining and increase inflammation in the body. According to Harvard Health, long-term exposure to these substances has been linked to heart disease and cognitive decline, especially in older adults. Mrs. Jane didn't need a new pill. She just needed a gentler cooking method. So we changed her routine. Instead of pan frying, she began boiling her eggs on low heat about 10 minutes, or sometimes steaming them softly with a few herbs. Within a few weeks, her stomach settled, her appetite returned, and more importantly, she felt sharper again. So here's my suggestion from one friend to another. Try boiling, steaming, or poaching your eggs instead of frying them in hot oil. Keep the temperature gentle. Skip the microwave. It cooks unevenly and destroys the delicate protein structure inside the egg. If you're missing the flavor, add a pinch of parsley or turmeric. Not only do they enhance the taste, but they also help reduce inflammation naturally. Can I ask, how do you usually cook your eggs? If you've been frying them hot and fast, maybe it's time for a softer approach. Type hope in the comments if you're open to trying a gentler method this week, because sometimes the way we cook is just as important as what we eat. A small change in the pan can mean a big change in how your body feels, especially your heart, your brain, and your energy. And now that we've covered these 5 important habits, let's wrap it all together and talk about how to make these changes feel doable. Not overwhelming, starting right where you are. Now that we've talked about the mistakes, let's step back and ask, why do eggs matter so much for seniors? As we age, our muscles naturally shrink even if we stay active. It's called sarcopenia. That's why experts at Harvard say older adults need more protein, not less. And eggs are one of the best sources, but only when prepared and eaten the right way. I met Mr. Williams, 75, who ate eggs daily but still felt weaker each year. Turned out he skipped the yolks, fried them too hot, and ate them early in the morning without realizing those small habits were stealing the benefits. See, eggs give more than protein. They're rich in choline, lutein, selenium nutrients that support memory, vision, and immune health. But high heat destroys them, and poor timing makes them harder to absorb. Here's a better way. Boil your eggs gently. Pair them with steamed broccoli, spinach, or bell peppers. These veggies help lower cholesterol and boost digestion. Add a cup of green tea to reduce inflammation. And one more simple tip, keep a food journal. Just jot down what you eat and how you feel. Over time, you'll spot patterns that even doctors might miss. If you're willing to try just one new habit this week, write hope in the comments. You don't need to change everything. Just start where you are. Because sometimes the smallest changes bring back the strongest version of you. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope this little journey through something as simple as eggs helped you see how small habits, like how and when we eat, can make a big difference in how we feel, think, and move as we age. If something in this video spoke to you or reminded you of someone you love, I'd be honored if you left a comment below. Just type the word hope or share what insight or change you're planning to try this week. I truly enjoy reading your thoughts. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe, tap the little bell so you never miss a new video, and share this with a friend or family member who might benefit too. I'll leave you with this thought: just like a garden needs care to bloom in every season, so does your body. And the beautiful part, it's never too late to start nurturing it again. Take care, stay curious, and may your next meal bring both nourishment and peace.